Mike Moore Media, the first place to hear Rockingham County news and information.
On our media line, Dr. Trevor Flannery, Faculty Environmental Planning and Development Director, Duke Energy Trails at Rockingham Community College. Trevor, good to have you on the program. How are you?
I'm well. Good morning, Mike.
It's always good to get an update on what's happening at RCC. Before we get started with your good news, tell us first, what is RCC Trails?
It's the Trail Recreation and Adventure Institute in Leadership and Service. So after the coal ash spill, Duke Energy convened a number of stakeholders throughout the Dan River Basin and kind of discussed what different solutions might be to dealing with the outcomes of that spill. And one of the key recommendations of that group was that a community college program would be established to help train students in how to better take care of the environment and the river and a lot of the outdoor assets in the region. Rockingham Community College was able to get the grant for that program, and so Duke Energy Trails is a continuing education program in outdoor recreation and environmental sustainability and a lot of outdoor skills. We also try to support a lot of the outdoor recreation and tourism development in the area as well, just by working with a lot of community partners and different groups in the area to kind of figure out what infrastructure need to be put into place and how we can help kind of move that stuff forward.
I know I met you a couple of years ago, I guess now, when this program was starting. Another situation there where we take a negative and make it into a very positive situation for sure. Now, the RCC Trails program is expanding in the fall, so tell us about that.
Yeah, so the initial push with Trails was to develop the continuing education and workforce development components. So those are usually very short classes, less than a week, sometimes just a few hours on a Saturday. The effort moving forward from that initial point was to develop a 2-year program so that students could get an associate degree and then move on to either working in the field or going on to get a 4-year degree. And so the Environmental Planning and Development associate degree is that final culmination of those efforts with developing the curriculum, developing the classes, filing with the state, and working to get all of the approvals needed for that effort. And we've since gotten that approval from the state, and we're working on developing the accreditation that we're required to get as well. But that's moving along very quickly as well. So we anticipate getting a fall start this August.
Okay. Well, I know there are 3 parts to this. Let's talk first about environmental planning. What's involved there?
Well, that one's about developing the different policy and environmental management and more planning or landscape architecture level skills. So in that one, we're hoping to develop students as designers and students as leaders. And that one's appropriate for anybody interested in any kind of environmental policy and gives you an understanding of how a lot of these fields work, what the skill sets are, and a lot of the kind of topic knowledge that you'd need to be successful.
Mm-hmm. It's really a good step, as I understand it, for those that want to get a 4-year degree and maybe even a master's degree.
Absolutely. A lot of those jobs are going to require additional training, and we want to make sure that they get set up well before they transfer to be successful.
Yeah. Okay, another part, outdoor economy and development.
Okay, so a lot of what makes outdoor recreation attractive to locations like Rockingham is finding an economic future. So in order to have a lot of visitors and people that want to come and visit, and more importantly, and a key point, and spend money. They need to leave their money here while they're enjoying themselves. And having to develop the kind of hospitable attractions and amenities like good restaurants and breweries and places to stay, and having people who understand how to run businesses, how to make them profitable, how to do the marketing it would take to get people here, but also be extremely familiar with the rivers, with the parks, with the trails, what those user groups expect, what kinds of amenities are going to be drawing people in, and then how to make sure people, have a really good time so they go back and do the word of mouth that's going to bring more visitors, and but also at the same time balance the taking care of and sustainability of those operations so that you don't get too many people, you don't get people ruining or trashing a lot of the assets that you have in the area. So that's going to balance with a lot of our business courses, our entrepreneurship training, but still give people that base level environmental and trail recreation, outdoor recreation.
It sounds like there are really a lot of components to this with business and hospitality and tourism, and tourism there being more and more important all the time for everyone, but particularly here in Rockingham County.
Absolutely. And I think even if you were, say, a park manager, you would need an understanding of the accounting, the business skills. Anything that you do that's going to involve a lot of people and a lot of moving pieces is usually going to involve some amount of business training. So we're pleased to be able to offer that here as well.
Okay. All right. Trails and outdoor infrastructure.
All right. With that concentration, we're looking at those who are probably just going to move on to go to a job or work for a company of their own, basically doing environmental work or landscaping or parks and recreation. So that's going to train people in the use of equipment and how to build and take care of things like trails and outdoor shelters, and get them used to the kinds of skill sets that they'll need to take care of sites on an ongoing basis, whether they be golf courses, state parks, local parks, landscaping and grounds management, and that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking we really are, I'm using the brand here now, we really are in a good place here in Rockingham County with the state parks and the rivers and the lakes and a lot of good things all around us right here in the county. Absolutely.
I mean, you just have so much to offer, and I hope that our program can be a part of that kind of unfolding over time and help people, learn how to take care of things, learn how to appreciate things, but also be kind of creative and start to develop new ways of bringing in visitors, developing businesses, doing outdoor design work, and just really help the county chart a future that's going to be a lot more interesting as it unfolds and as we get more and more investment in the area.
All of these good things, and you're outside.
Yeah, as much as we can be.
Yeah. Okay. So the new program starts in the fall. What do we need to know? How do we connect with all of this?
Well, if you just go on the website or go to the college websites for North Carolina, you'll be able to register as a normal student for the 2-year program and apply to join us this fall. I'm
thinking when you started that program and some of the things we talked about initially and look where it's come from and where you're going, it's really growing, isn't it?
It is. I mean, we'd started off with our focus on trail building, but I wanted to make sure that students would get as broad and thorough a training as they could so that they could adapt over time. There may be times when a lot of the projects that people are wanting to develop and that we have funding for would be based on river access or trail building. But other times there may be other things like mountain biking or, some of the in-town walking paths and greenways. So just making sure that they understand the fundamentals and that they'll be able to adjust as their career needs adjust is pretty important. So that led us to kind of expand the idea, make it a little bit more comprehensive, and we're kind of pleased with the results so far.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited with you and for you as this program continues to grow at Rockingham Community College. We have a couple of minutes remaining. Any closing remarks, Trevor?
Yeah, I want to mention that there's $90,000 in funding set aside for Virginia students. As part of the stakeholder recommendations, they wanted to make sure that everybody in the Dan River Basin would be able to access this program. So Duke Energy also donated that $90,000 to our Rockingham Community College Foundation so that any Virginia student could attend our program at in-state levels. So any extra costs for out-of-state students from Virginia would be compensated for by that funding. Mm-hmm. So we're going to hope to recruit some students from north of the border to get them here, and also begin to develop a lot of relationships with colleges, in particular Western Carolina and Appalachian State and UNCG and NC State, to try and get agreements with them so that our programs will seamlessly merge with theirs for transfer students. So those discussions will be ongoing as we move forward.
This gets better and better. Do we have any other community colleges, the 50-some in our state, offering anything like this?
No, not even, probably even in the country. I mean, there are programs in different similar kinds of topics, whether it be landscape architecture or civil engineering or parks and recreation, but a lot of them are all focused on activities or design only. I'm not aware of any that combine all of these components together.
Wow, well, that's great. And it's right here at Rockingham Community College. How neat is that? It's
very neat. We've got these 200 acres of woods and things, and a lot of other amenities in different parks, as you mentioned, but the local parks as well as the state parks that we're hoping to partner with. So, just the amount of potential here is just so staggering, and it's going to be really fun to see where these classes and these students go as things move forward.
Yeah. You mentioned just a moment ago, reminds me, a mountain bike trail at Ferris Memorial Park in Mayodan that had some events planned, like everything else, changed last year. But what a great place that is.
Very cool, and I think that there continue to be things I hear about, every month, and different mountain bike programs that the team that did at Ferris is also working to kind of start other projects around the county. And DARBA's been very active to kind of move those things forward. So again, we're excited to be part of all that and to be one more component in the county's move forward.
Yeah. I know Dan River Basin Association has their first Saturday outing coming up at the Brown Nature Preserve, I think, this Saturday. So we certainly appreciate that partnership with Dan River Basin Association and Duke Energy for making it happen. Thank you, Trevor. It's great to get this update. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay. Have a good summer.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Trevor Flannery, Faculty Environmental Planning and Development Director, Duke Energy Trails at Rockingham Community College. It's exciting to see how that program is continuing to grow and offering a new degree program starting this fall, associate's degree there at RCC. Get more information on the good things happening on campus at rockinghamcce.edu and on Facebook at Rockingham Community College. Start local, go far.